At 2:17 a.m., the emergency dispatcher heard a man's voice trembling on the line, repeating the same sentence over and over again. "My wife isn't breathing. Please hurry." While in the background there was no sound of panic, no footsteps, no cries for help, only a heavy silence broken by his controlled breathing. And in that moment, before police arrived, before sirens cut through the night, before neighbors would wake up to a crime scene wrapped in flashing blue lights, a perfect marriage began to unravel, revealing a deadly secret that no one saw coming. And this is one of those true crime stories where love, trust, and appearances were carefully constructed masks, hiding something far darker beneath the surface. Emily and Daniel Harper were the couple everyone envied, living in the quiet suburban town of Willow Creek. Married for 12 years, successful, attractive, and admired, their social media filled with smiling photos, anniversary captions about soulmates, and captions describing a life built on love and mutual respect. Emily worked as a wellness consultant, often speaking about balance, honesty, and emotional health, while Daniel was a respected financial advisor, known for his calm demeanor and reliability. The kind of man neighbors trusted with house keys and personal advice. They met in college, married young, and built what appeared to be an unshakable bond. Their home was immaculate, decorated with neutral tones and warm lighting, the kind of place that felt more like a lifestyle magazine than a real household. Friends described their marriage as perfect, almost too perfect, with no public arguments, no visible cracks, no rumors of infidelity or financial trouble, but behind closed doors, the reality was far more complex and dangerous. The night Emily died began like any other, according to Daniel's statement. The couple had dinner together, watched television, and went to bed shortly before midnight. No arguments, no signs of distress. Nothing out of the ordinary. Daniel claimed he woke up several hours later and found Emily unresponsive beside him, cold to the touch, her face pale in the dim light of the bedroom. He called emergency services immediately, insisting he had no idea what happened. But when paramedics arrived, something felt wrong. Emily was clearly dead. But the scene didn't match a natural passing in her sleep. There were no signs of struggle, but subtle details stood out. The careful positioning of her body, the absence of typical medical indicators, and a faint chemical smell lingering in the room that no one could immediately identify. Police quickly secured the house, treating it as a potential crime scene, even as Daniel continued to play the role of the devastated husband, sobbing quietly, answering questions politely, never raising his voice or demanding answers. His behavior was calm, almost rehearsed. And for experienced detectives, that calmness was unsettling. Because in so many dark case files, it is often the quiet reactions that speak the loudest. The autopsy revealed the truth: Emily could no longer speak. Toxicology reports showed lethal levels of a rare sedative in her system, a substance not prescribed to her and not commonly found outside of medical or veterinary use. The official cause of death was ruled as poisoning, and suddenly, the perfect marriage narrative collapsed, leaving investigators with one central question: who had access to Emily, her food, her bedroom, her medicine cabinet? The answer was painfully obvious: the person who shared her bed, her home, and her life, Daniel Harper. Investigators began digging into the Harpers' background, uncovering cracks hidden behind years of carefully curated perfection. Friends admitted that while Emily often spoke about happiness, she also hinted at feeling controlled, emotionally monitored, and isolated from certain relationships. Daniel, on the other hand, appeared charming in public but increasingly possessive in private, checking Emily's phone, questioning her whereabouts, subtly discouraging her from spending time with friends who challenged his authority. Behaviors that seemed small at the time but now painted a different picture, one of emotional dominance disguised as devotion. As police examined Daniel's financial records, another disturbing layer emerged. Emily had recently taken out a substantial life insurance policy naming Daniel as the sole beneficiary. Finalized just 6 weeks before her death, the policy was framed as responsible planning, but investigators noticed Daniel was present at every meeting, answering questions for Emily, guiding decisions, and pushing for higher coverage amounts. This discovery shifted the investigation from suspicious death to possible premeditated murder, a calculated act hidden behind years of marital trust. When confronted, Daniel denied any involvement, claiming Emily was stressed, possibly depressed, suggesting she may have taken something accidentally. But friends and family strongly rejected that narrative. Emily was future-oriented, planning new projects, making appointments, discussing vacations. There were no signs of suicidal ideation. No reason for such a lethal mistake. And as detectives pressed harder, Daniel's calm demeanor began to crack. Inconsistencies appeared in his timeline. Small details changed during repeated interviews. Moments he claimed to be asleep suddenly turned into periods of wakefulness, and his explanation for the chemical substance found in Emily's body grew increasingly vague. The investigation took a shocking turn when forensic analysis revealed traces of the same sedative in a glass found in the kitchen sink, and security footage from a nearby pharmacy showed Daniel purchasing a veterinary-grade tranquilizer weeks earlier, claiming it was for a neighbor's anxious dog, a neighbor who later told police they never owned a pet. This lie would become a turning point, transforming suspicion into probable cause, and within days, Daniel Harper was arrested and charged with first-degree murder. During the trial, prosecutors painted a chilling picture, arguing that Daniel meticulously planned Emily's death, slowly administering small doses of the sedative over weeks to build tolerance, then delivering a final lethal amount on the night she died, ensuring there would be no struggle, no noise, no resistance, only a quiet death that could be mistaken for natural causes. The defense argued circumstantial evidence, insisting there was no direct proof Daniel poisoned his wife, but the combination of financial motive, access lies, and forensic evidence proved overwhelming for the jury. The courtroom was packed with media and spectators, many unable to reconcile the image of the loving husband with the cold calculations revealed in court. And as the verdict was read, guilty on all counts, there was no dramatic reaction from Daniel, no tears, no outburst. Only a slow nod, as if confirming something he had already accepted, the mask finally removed. Daniel Harper was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, while Emily's family struggled to rebuild lives shattered by betrayal, their grief compounded by the realization that the person they trusted most had orchestrated her death. And in the public eye, the case became a powerful reminder that some of the darkest true crime stories are not hidden in alleyways or abandoned buildings, but inside beautiful homes, shared beds, and relationships built on lies. Even years later, questions lingered. How long had Daniel planned this? Were there warning signs everyone missed? Could Emily have been saved if someone had looked closer? And these unanswered questions continue to haunt those who followed the case, a tragic echo reminding us that perfection can be the most dangerous illusion of all. This is Dark Case Files, where every crime story reminds us that darkness often wears a familiar face. And before you close this chapter, ask yourself, if a marriage looks perfect on the outside, how can we ever know what truly happens behind closed doors? And more importantly, do you think Daniel acted alone, or was there a piece of this deadly secret that never came to light? Share your thoughts below. And if you want more true crime stories, dark investigations, and unforgettable cases, subscribe to Dark Case Files and stay with us as we uncover the shadows others want to keep hidden.